Chapter 11. Leo. Leo didn't stick around after Piper turned beautiful. Sure, it was amazing and all. She's got makeup, it's a miracle. But Leo had problems to deal with. He ducked out of the amphitheater and ran into the darkness, wondering what he'd gotten himself into. He'd stood up in front of a bunch of stronger, braver demigods and volunteered. Volunteered for a mission that would probably get him killed. He hadn't mentioned seeing Tia Calidia, his old babysitter, but as soon as he'd heard about Jason's vision, the lady in the black dress and shawl, Jason knew it had to be the same woman. Tia Calidia was Hera. His evil babysitter was the queen of the gods. Stuff like that could really deep fry your brain. He trudged off towards the woods and tried not to think about his childhood, all the messed up things that led to his mother's death, but he couldn't help it. The first time Tia Calidia tried to kill him, he must have been about 2. Tia Calidia was looking after him while his mother was at the machine shop. She wasn't really his aunt, of course, just one of the old women in the community, a generic Tia who helped watch the kids. She smelled like honey-baked ham, and always wore a widow's dress and a black shawl. "Let's sit you down for a nap," she said. "Let's see if you are my brave little hero, eh?" Leo was sleepy. She nestled him into his blankets in a warm mound of red and yellow pillows. The bed was like a cubbyhole in the wall, made of blackened bricks with a metal slot over his head and a square hole far above, where he could see the stars. He remembered resting comfortably, grabbing at sparks like fireflies. He dozed and dreamed about a boat made of fire, sailing through the cinders. He imagined himself on board, navigating the sky. Somewhere nearby, Tia Calidia sat in her rocking chair, creak, 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 and sang a lullaby. Even at 2, Leo knew the difference between English and Spanish, and he remembered being puzzled because Tia Calidia was singing in a language that was neither. Everything was fine until his mother came home. She screamed and raced over to snatch him up, yelling at Tia Calidia, "How could you?" But the old lady had disappeared. Leo remembered looking at his mother's shoulder at the flames curling around his blankets. Only years later had he realized that he'd been sleeping in a blazing fireplace. The weirdest thing? Tia Calidia hadn't been arrested or even banished from the house. She appeared again several times over the next few years. Once when Leo was 3, she let him play with knives. "You must learn your blades early," she insisted, "if you are to be a hero someday." Leo managed not to kill himself, but he got the feeling that Tia Calidia wouldn't have cared one way or the other. When Leo was 4, Tia found a rattlesnake for him in a nearby cow pasture. She gave him a stick and encouraged him to poke at the animal. "Where's your bravery, little hero? Show me the fates were right to choose you." Leo stared down at those amber eyes, hearing the dry sh-sh-sh of the snake's rattle. He couldn't bring himself to poke the snake. It didn't seem fair. Apparently, the snake felt the same way about biting a little kid. Leo could have sworn it looked at Tia Calidia like, "Are you nuts, lady?" Then it disappeared into the tall grass. The last time she babysit him, Leo was 5. She brought him a pack of crayons and a pad of paper. They sat together at the picnic table at the back of the apartment complex under the old pecan tree. While Tia Calidia sang her strange songs, Leo drew a picture of the boat he'd seen in the flames, with colorful sails and rows of oars, a curved stern, and an awesome masthead. When he was almost done, about to sign his name the way that he'd learned in kindergarten, a wind snatched the picture away. It flew into the sky and disappeared. Leo wanted to cry. He'd spent so much time on that picture, but Tia Calidia just clucked with disappointment. "It isn't time yet, little hero. Someday you'll have your quest. You'll find your destiny and your hard journey will finally make sense. But first you must face many sorrows. I regret that, but heroes cannot be shaped any other way. Now make me a fire, eh? Warm these old bones." A few minutes later, Leo's mom came out and shrieked with horror. Tia Calidia was gone, but Leo sat in the middle of a smoking fire. The pad of paper was reduced to ashes, crayons had melted into a bubbling puddle of multicolored goo, and Leo's hands were ablaze, slowly burning through the picnic table. For years afterward, people in the apartment complex would wonder how someone had seared the impressions of a 5-year-old's hand in an inch-deep solid wood of the picnic table. Now Leo was sure that Tia Calidia, his psychotic babysitter, had been Hera all along. That made her, what, his godly grandmother? His family was even more messed up than he realized.